Hey, Pascal. How was your summer?
Awesome. Beautiful summer.
Good, good. Your first time going into a season without Fred. What was your reaction when you found out the news that he was leaving over the summer? And do you feel like the team has done enough to replace what he brings both on and off the court?
Obviously, like with Fred, a friend of mine for sure, came in together. Young players had to earn our way into getting where we at today. And I'm incredibly proud of him and the things that he's been able to do. Not to sound like a broken record, but he bet on himself, came through, worked hard, and we had to fight and scratch for everything to get where we at, and I'm just proud of him, like happy for him. To see him, be happy, get what he deserved, and it's just awesome, like to see somebody work so hard and then get to this level when people didn't expect them to get to that level. So yeah, I'm happy for him. I'm proud of him. Obviously sad that he's not here. Been a part of I've always kind of like played with on the same team with him, and so yeah, it's tough to not have him and know that like he's gonna be playing in a different team. Like it's just gonna feel weird. Like I think. But again, I'm happy for him, like to be able to get to where he's at today. And yeah, I think he's going to be someone that's going to be hard to replace, like just because of everything that he's done for this organization, everything that he does, in and out, on the court, off the court. Like he's going to be someone tough to replace for sure.
Hey, Pascal, welcome back. I'm curious, Masai has spoken a lot about changing the culture of this team. Obviously, you're one of the veterans on this team. How are you seeing the culture change and evolve this year, and what's your role in changing the culture?
I mean, I think it's still early. I don't know. I don't know how the culture has changed, or I think we'll see. Right, we'll find out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, Masai spoke about trying to get rid of selfishness, and he said part of that was having conversations with all the players. I'm sure that you're probably the first player he spoke to about that. From your perspective, how did that conversation go in terms of having more accountability on the team and, again, changing the culture?
I mean, I think for me, I'll speak for me personally. Like I've never been a selfish player in my life. Always played the game the right way. And that's from the first time I started playing basketball. Like just I've always been a team player. All the things that I do on the basketball court, it's about team, and I've always done that like my whole career. I think that just for me, like being this, like continue to evolve as a player, getting better. Just kind of like learning the game and having more attention. Like, I mean, I remember times where I was in the corner and nobody even cared about me, and I'll be out there on the corner for a long time and I get the ball and then I pump fake even if nobody was there, So I remember those days, and I think just me evolving my game and being in a position where you get attention and there's a lot of attention on you, and you have to make the right plays, and I feel like I've always made the right basketball play, and when I'm out there on the court, like sometimes it looks like it could look different because I feel like I always have two people on me every time I'm on the court, so sometimes it might look like you're shooting over two people, but it is what it is. But I think that like I've always played the game the right way, like. I don't have any like ounce of selfishness in me, and I just want to continue to do that, and I feel like I've always done that. I've never really had coaches tell me that I wasn't coachable, or like I wasn't listening, or I wasn't doing the right things on the floor, and when I didn't do that, and every time that the coach told me not to do it, then I kind of rectify every time, So that's kind of like why I'm here today, anyway. Like as a player, just from learning from my mistakes and getting better. So yeah, like I don't think I've ever been a selfish player.
No, I wasn't saying that.
I didn't think you were saying that because it's not that though. So yeah.
So we'll go Mike, Doug, Adam.
Hey Pascal, lots changed obviously going into this year. New coach,
no Fred, new direction probably in the way you guys kind of go at the game. Does any of that change the way you think about your future with this team, knowing that you go into this year as a potential free agent after this season?
I mean, again, for me, like I'm under contract, right? Like I'm a Raptors player. That's literally what I'm focused on. I'm focused on the present, and that's, to me, that's all I can really care about right now. In terms of the way we play, like I'm a basketball player. I'm a purist, I think, as far as basketball goes, and I've always played basketball for the right reason, which is to win, and continue to try to be the best that I can be as a player. Like that's always been my main things as a player, and I think I really don't care what the system is. Like if you're a good player and you know how to play the game, like you find a way. I believe that I'm that type of person, and on the floor, like I don't care what you're trying to do. Like the ball finds the best players all the time. Like and to me, like the game is just gonna go into like finding the guys that make the difference. So I think that like it doesn't really matter. Like I think I'm a player that adapts to anything, and I play the right way. So I think that always like wins in anything that you do, and I think I will adapt well.
Hey, Pascal, it's Doug. How are you, sir? Right here in front of you.
What's up, Doug?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Man? Good.
I get the on-court stuff. The ball's going to find the best player, and you can play in any system. But how about a personal relationship with a coach? You now got a brand new guy who doesn't know you, and you don't know him.
Right.
How do you develop that relationship, or do you need to develop a friendship relationship with the guy who's your coach?
I mean, I think, again, it takes time, obviously, in anything. I mean, it's, like even when there's new players or when there's, even if you go to a new school, like whatever the case might be, like it's the same thing. Like you got to learn people, personalities. You got to learn about what they do. And I think as long as there's respect, like I think that's the most important thing. Respect, honesty, communication. That's all that really matters. And I think for me as a player that's been here for a while, that's won a championship, that's like been in a lot of winning situations, like I think, him as a new rookie head coach coming in, I think we kind of like better like, get together and figure things out. And I think it would be smart for me to, talk to him, which I've done, to trying to pick his brain and see the things that he does, and trying to, like again, as the veteran player and probably the most tenure. I don't know if that's right on the team right now. To kind of like understand each other, and I think that on his side too, he has to do that same thing, figuring out who are your best players on your team, and going out there and figure out how as a new coach you're going to come in and help the team win, and I think you do that by going through like your best player and then the whole team.
I know you guys had a dinner in Orlando after Darko just got retired, and then you didn't see him in Vegas, you did in LA. How did the relationship evolve back and forth during the time?
I think it's going well. I think he seems like a great person. Obviously, like coming into the new, and you're a new coach, you're coming in, and everything is exciting. Everything we're excited about the future, and it's refreshing talking to him, just how excited he is, and I also think that like obviously my job is to also tell the realities of the things, because I've been here, and I know what it is, and so I think we have we shared information, and I enjoy talking to him, but at the same time it's just going to be like out there on the court, and just like when we go out there and got to figure out a way to win. Like that's pretty much what it is, and I don't know if we're going to be great friends or not, like, but I know that I'm going to try everything to win, and if I know that that's what he's trying to do also. So I think we'll be on the same page in that sense.
So I'm going to go Adam and then Aaron, and then we'll try and speak in some French questions, and then if we have time, we'll come back to some more English.
Pascal, when it comes to your off season, in years past, it had always been a lot about you'd been in the gym a lot and you'd been working hard, and you talked last year about how you wanted to try and get yourself to be one of the top 5 players in the NBA. I'm wondering if you sort of have any personal goals that you were looking at developing throughout the off season. Do you have any sort of goals that you want to try and reach this season, and how do you feel like your off season went from a training standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, I think I think you always have to have personal goals as a player, and not even as a player, as a person. Like, I think you always want to continue to evolve, and I think that every year I always try to do that. I always trying to get better. I always trying to evolve, do things differently. I go back and watch the season. I like a lot of the things that I did, and I also, there's some things that I need to get better on, and that goes with every player. So I try to evaluate that, see how I can help the team get better, see how I can, like, if I can do anything to elevate some other players or whatever the case that might be that I need to do as a player to make that happen. That's what I try to focus on every single year, and I always have goals. But I mean, I think my main goal is to win. I want to win more games than we did last year. Like, that's the main thing. But yeah, like, as far as just like personal goals, I just want to keep it on my notebook for now. But the summer was awesome. Love traveling. I think for me, just being in different environments, working out in different places. Love going to Austria. Shout out Red Bull always. It was great. It's fun, and just getting yourself in different environments and just continue to be with my family, my friends, and continue to get better. Like, I want to continue to enjoy it. Like this. This is, I think, like, it gets so, like, super, like, sometimes stressful because all of the stuff that's happening. But, like, I'm actually living my dream. Like, it's pretty crazy, and I'm excited about that, and I want to enjoy that every single day. And traveling is part of that, and also the off season, just continue to get better, enjoying the process of continuing to get better. I don't know if I answered your question, but I just felt like saying that because it felt good. And yeah, I just want to, like, make sure that everyone knows that, like, I'm super blessed and, like, I'm happy to be where I am today as a person, and something like what I've been able to do for my family. So yeah, I didn't answer your question anyway, but.
Hi, Pascal. Welcome back. You spoke a few summers about wanting to be sort of something like the man in Toronto. After Kyle left and now Fred's gone.
I said that?
I think you said it to the Times.
What's that, the Times?
The New York Times?
Oh, I did that?
Well, you're an all-star player. You're an all-NBA player. Do you feel like this organization is treating you that way? And is this an organization you're ready to sign long-term with if presented something like that? Are you feeling comfortable with how this summer has gone?
For me, like, again, I love being coming in here. I was a kid from those scrawny kid from Cameroon. I feel like for a kid like me to be where I am today, like, it's incredible, and I'm blessed. I'm super blessed. I just want to, for me, like, be a part of something awesome, something amazing. I want to win games. I want to just go out there, like, play the game, have fun, and to me, like, that's kind of like my focus right now. Just continue to get better as a player, find ways to win games, and yeah, like, that's all I care about right now.
Salut Pascal.
Salut. Yeah.
D'abord, la question contractuelle. Peux-tu valider ce qui a été rapporté cet été, que si tu devais être échangé, tu avais fait savoir que tu ne voulais pas signer ailleurs? Est-ce que c'est vrai? Et maintenant que tu es sans prolongation de contrat avec les Raptors à ce stade-ci, est-ce que ça te convient ou c'est pas ta décision?
J'ai jamais rien dit. Je parle pas aux médias, donc je sais pas. Je sais pas de quoi tu parles. Et puis, je sais pas, qu'est-ce que c'était ta deuxième question, c'était quoi?
Tu es sans prolongation de contrat avant de débuter cette dernière saison de ton entente. Est-ce que ça te convient? Est-ce que c'est ta décision?
Je suis toujours en contrat, donc pour moi, c'est ça l'essentiel.
Et la dernière, plus joviale, sans Fred, mais avec le nouveau coach et la nouvelle dynamique d'équipe, comment est-ce que tu perçois tout simplement cette saison-là avec cette différentes dynamiques sur le terrain, moins de jeux ISO et un peu plus collectif avec le ballon qui bouge énormément?
Non, moi, je suis excité pour la saison. Bien sûr, ça fait mal d'avoir perdu Fred, mais moi, je suis excité pour la saison. Juste continuer de pouvoir me développer en tant que joueur et essayer de gagner plus de matchs.
So we'll do one from Mike, and then try and stay to the ones up here, and then. Mike is in the green.
Salut Pascal. Question qui a été posée aussi en anglais, mais je voulais avoir la réponse en français. On sait que l'été, pour toi, c'est vraiment le moment où tu continues ton développement, ton entraînement. Est-ce que tu as mis l'accent sur quelque chose en particulier cet été dans ton jeu ou c'est quelque chose de global?
Bon, c'était de plus ou moins global, mais essayer juste encore de dribbler mieux, d'essayer de comprendre le jeu un peu plus mieux, continuer à tirer des tirs à 3 points. C'est quelque chose que je veux continuer à faire. Et ouais, c'est tout ce que je me suis focalisé sur tout, mais bon, ces choses en particulier un peu plus.
Et une question hors basket. Just one. OK. Rapidement, juste un petit mot sur ton passage en France. Je crois que tu as été passé par la France. Quel est un peu ton rapport avec le pays? Est-ce que tu y vas souvent?
C'est ma deuxième fois d'être allé en France, à Paris. J'aime bien Paris, j'aime la France. Et ouais, ça me fait toujours plaisir d'aller dans de nouveaux pays. Et ouais, moi j'aime bien voyager, donc ouais, ça me fait plaisir.
Okay, so we'll do Eric and Mike, and then I think Carrie will be it.
Hey, Pascal. Just for clarity's sake, Masai said that he's talked to you, but not about an extension. We all know what they can offer you because of the CBA. Would you want to talk about it with the Raptors before or during the season? Are you open to that conversation?
I think I let those type of questions to the people that represent me. That's kind of like why I pay them. So I don't have to answer that. So yeah.
You were talking a lot about how you're not a selfish player. Masai talked a lot about last season and today that he thought the team, not you specifically, was selfish last year at times. Do you understand what he meant, like given the distance? Do you understand what he meant by that and how it needs to be different this year?
I mean, I think I could see it. I think that I think just we got to have better chemistry and understanding each other, playing well off of each other, and also just like, again, like, to me, I feel like to the game that it's kind of like an hierarchy and like an understanding to the game. Like, you know, when you see a lot of teams play, like, you understand what they do and you know, like how things happen and like the way they fall through and everyone play the role and like that's mostly like how it is, you know, like, and I think that, you know, like it has to be that way.
Hey, Pascal.
Hey, what's up, Mike?
How you doing, brother?
Good. Man.
Just, you mentioned in the summer, you know, the life you live can be stressful at times. As blessed as you are, you know, your name's in the news. There's always uncertainty.
It is?
It can be, yeah. And there's uncertainty about things that are kind of beyond your control a little bit. And so I'm just wondering, over the summer and with your name being in the news for, you know, trade rumors and things like that and the uncertainty about, you know, your contract status going forward, how does all that make you feel? Like, how do you deal with that? Do you take it as a challenge? Do you take it personally in any way or form?
I mean, I think for me, like, I always want to be the best that I can be. Like, at the end of the day, like, that's what I focus on. And again, you said it yourself. Like, there's a lot of things that I can control. I try to focus on the things that I can control. And the things that I can control is like, you know, me going out there every single day, being a great human being, working hard to try to be the best player that I can be. And I try to do that every single day. And then certain things, you know, like I said earlier, you pay some people and they get to work on those things, you know, like, so you don't have to do that. So yeah, I'm focused on the basketball and being happy, being with people that I care about. And yeah, that's also what I'm focused on.
OG, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Yeah. Does this feel like an important year for you on a personal level, just given where you are in terms of your career, your role on this team, and obviously with a contract extension or free agency coming up? Do you put a lot of importance on this season?
Yeah, but I put a lot of importance in every season. So every year I just come out, try to have the best year possible for me and the team.
In your off season, did you do anything a little differently or tweak anything in terms of your preparation based on your experience that you've earned up to this point?
Mainly the same thing, just on-court, off-court training, weight room, and then film work. So mainly the same things.
Hey, OG, welcome back. Hope your summer was awesome. Masai Ujiri's been talking a lot at the end of last season and just speaking to him about, selfishness on last year's team. Does it feel like with the changes over the summer and just a new year in general that's addressed? What's the mood like for the team in terms of playing together?
I think it's a good mood. Like the team wants to play together. We want to improve on last year. We don't want it to go like it went last year. So I think collectively we all want to improve and play the right way, and hopefully it translates to winning games.
Hi, OG. Hope it was a good summer. Every player obviously wants to make the most out of their talents. Do you see the opportunity to become the player that you ultimately want to be on this roster?
Yeah, I definitely do.
And Gary was talking about how much he's talked to Darko, and maybe it's more than he's talked to a coach in his professional career. How would you say your conversations with Darko have gone, and what struck you about his personality?
I've definitely talked to Darko a lot as well. Darko's just a great guy, fun to talk to, loves talking basketball, loves talking strategy. So we just talked a lot about offense, defense, just different things we want to do this season. It went well.
Hey, OG, welcome back. First time in your career that you're starting a season without having Fred around. What was your reaction when you found out that he'd be leaving over the offseason? And do you feel like the team did enough to replace what he brings both on and off the floor?
Well, first of all, I was happy for Fred for signing a great deal. He's a great player, so he's definitely earned it. He deserves it. We signed Dennis. I think Dennis will be a great addition. We all get along with him also as well. He's a great player, great leader. I think he'll fit right in and help us win games. Good, how are you?
Why in the world would you want to own part of a basketball team?
Why would I?
Yeah. Why did you buy part of the London team?
Oh, because I love basketball. I love London. And I'm excited for the team. I think it's going to grow a lot, and I want to be involved.
It is a country where basketball is not quite at the forefront. Do you see a way to help that growth across Great Britain? And is that part of why you did this?
Yeah, definitely. Just doing like camps, getting the youth more involved, the girls and boys, starting young, and just trying to get them playing at an early age, and then hopefully it transfers, and when they're older, they're still playing, not just playing soccer or other stuff, or football.
Yeah. Thanks.
Hey, OG. You had an amazing defensive season last year, obviously made all defense for the first time. But as a team, you guys finished kind of closer to the middle of the pack. So I'm wondering from your perspective, what do you feel like you guys need to do collectively to improve upon that and get up into, top 5 territory?
Really just, execution in games, end the games, and then also just carrying out the game plan, A lot of times we're in games, and then, maybe third quarter, team will go on a run or something, or the game will be close, and then some run will happen, and then, we'll end up losing the game. So just finishing games through, not focusing or not relaxing, letting up, and just keeping the intensity for 48 minutes.
And do you have a sense of schematically how things might be different under Darko than they were under Nick at that end of the floor?
Do I know everything exactly right now? No, not yet. But I'm sure there'll be some things that are the same and some things that are different.
Hey, OG, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Back to Fred for a second. With him leaving, there's obviously a leadership void, or a bit of one. How does that change your role? And then beyond that, is there a natural next in the pecking order?
Yeah, Fred leaving, he was a great leader for us. He led vocally and by example. So with him gone, I've been here for a while, so I've always tried to lead by example, but to start trying to use my voice more often. And is there a next what?
Is there a natural next guy to Fred, like the guy who kind of fills that void by himself, or does it have to be a collective?
I think collectively, because I think you can't replace one person, just like can't replace Kyle, can't replace Serge, can't replace, no one can be replaced. So I think collectively we all step up, and then it just happens naturally.
So Samson over there, who was well, don't stretch yourself beyond.
Hey, OG, so spacing, everybody knows this team hasn't shot the 3-ball very well. Spacing is at a premium in the NBA so guys can drive. You've been a tremendous shooter since you came into the league, but you've also been in set actions and for the health of the offense, positioned as a shooter to open up lanes for other players. How does that impact how you want to grow as an on-ball creator, and how do you find the right line with the coach, with the front office, and with yourself, trying to make sure that you get touches to grow, and also that you provide help for other guys to succeed?
Really just doing whatever the team needs. And it depends on a game-to-game basis. Like some games, depending on how the other team's playing, I might be on the ball more. Other games might be spotting up more, spacing out more. It just depends on first the lineups who are out there and then game to game. So just working on my game regardless, and then doing whatever the team needs. So if I have to put up a bunch of threes or just space, I'll do that. Just do whatever the team needs, main thing.
Hey, OG, welcome back. We understand the CBA and what the Raptors can offer you. Is an extension something that you would be open to, and how does the fact that they're sort of limited impact what's going to happen this season, and could a lack of an extension complicate your play this season?
Extension stuff, I let my agency handle that. I just go out there and play and try to help the team win games. And I love Toronto, so regardless, I love Toronto, so I want to be here. But I just let my agency handle that stuff.
Hey, OG, besides your name always just kind of being in trade rumors or whatever it may be, how much did you kind of pay attention to what other teams did this offseason, and were you surprised by where any of the players landed?
The recent trades and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone was surprised by the Dame trade to Milwaukee, and then everyone was surprised with Drew to Boston yesterday. I follow player movement after the fact, not really during it. So it's interesting to see.
When we talk about interesting, I know last summer a big highlight for you said was taking walks. So I'm curious, what was the highlight for your summer this year besides owning a team?
Highlight.
Don't say reading a book.
I won't say that. I don't know what the highlight was. I don't know. There was no highlight. I mean, every day was a highlight. There's no specific highlight, yeah.
Great, thanks. Well, last question, you guys can go to Warren.
Hey, OG, hope you're doing well. Dating back to last trade deadline and this offseason as well, a lot of prominent members of this team have come up in trade speculation, and I know that stuff is out of your guys' control, but at the same time, guys see that stuff. It's in the news. It's on social media. I'm wondering how that has kind of weighed on you, and maybe if it's affected the mood around the team at all.
I don't think it's affected the mood. I think everyone's excited to start the year and go out there, especially after the way last year ended, go out this year, have a good start, and just have a way better season than last year. So I think everyone's excited.
For you personally, is it kind of easy to separate those two things and not kind of dread on it too much?
Oh, yeah, definitely, especially because I can't control any of it. So just controlling what I can control, just working hard, being a good teammate, trying my best out there and trying to help the team win games.
Scottie.
So,
Not much. Good to see you. Darko was mentioned a couple times and just this morning about how he sees you having a bigger role on the ball, with the ball in your hands, kind of navigating different situations on the floor. And how does that make you feel? And what have you done in the summer to kind of live up to what's probably sounds like some pretty big responsibilities?
yeah, it makes me feel good, just being able to have the ball in my hands, being able to make more, being able to make more decisions with the ball. I feel like I'm really good with the ball in my hands, making great decisions, whether if I need a pass or be able to score. I feel like I'm really good at that. So this summer, I've just been working all around my game, just finding spots, working on my game, getting to the mid-range, getting to the basket with different moves, I'm confident in my game. That's really what it's about, just working on your game, just building your confidence. So when you go out there in the season, you could just go out there and dominate. I feel like that's my mindset, to go out every game and be able to dominate and just try to win games.
How's your left hand?
Left hand's pretty good.
Scottie, I know you just touched a little bit on what you did in the summer, but was there anything you did differently this offseason compared to last, or anything you learned from last season that made you do something differently this offseason, or was it kind of an extension of what you usually do in summers?
I think one thing I probably worked on more this summer is just try to do more running. I feel like conditioning-wise, I did more running. That's probably the main difference I did. More just a lot of full court running, off the floor, just trying to go outside, running after workouts. Like, it was just more running.
Just to follow up, is that just something that through last year, like you realized you had to do more of? Was it like a conditioning thing, or was it like what motivated you to do more of that as opposed to last summer or coming into the NBA?
I feel like with the ball in my hands more, I'll probably be doing more work. So it's just about trying to be prepared for that, be ready for that, and be able to try to take it to the next level. So I feel like being in the top shape, it takes a difference on at the end of the game moments. If you're tired and you can push through that, so I feel like that takes a different type of level.
Hey, Scottie, welcome back. Just following up on the conditioning, because that's something you mentioned after the season that you were going to focus on. Do you feel physically a big difference right now going into the season compared to how you felt a year ago?
I feel really good, Put on some more muscle, gained about like 9 pounds. So, first time I've been like 240. So my body feels good. Everything feels great. I'm just ready to play.
And then what are your impressions of Darko? He's had some really kind words in terms of his impressions of you and your game. Where do you see the fit in his system, and how have you guys been able to click so far?
Just going through things, just see a system as being able to play more together, being able to move the ball, that's just his main emphasis. Try to less dribbles and more action, like playing through like different actions. I feel like that's what our goal is this year, is trying to do that. Meeting him as a person, he just brings a lot of energy, he brings a lot of joy. I love that about him. So I'm excited to get to work with him.
Thanks, Scottie.
Hey, Scottie. Welcome back. How do you see the leadership of this team changing after the departure of Fred?
You know, there's more opportunities for me to step into that leadership role. I feel like that's something that I'm really trying to step into. I don't think it's going to be that hard, you know, to be a leader. You know, I feel like I can lead. So it's just about me using my voice and being able to play hard and just being more focused on my throw on the floor. And then we got some more vets on our team as well. So, you know, these guys been through it all. So they can help out a lot as well.
Is there something about the leadership style of some of the older guys on the team last year that the younger guys are hoping is going to look different this year?
Say that again?
Is there something about the leadership style of some of the veterans on the team last year that the younger crew and maybe yourself is hoping will look different this year?
I think the best we got right now, you know, they just come in and bring a lot of energy. You know, they're more like, they're bringing more energy. You know, they're bringing more positivity to the situation. I feel like that's what really just the difference between this year and last year.
Hey, Scott, I hope you're doing well. Kind of just piggybacking off that question, when you got here, there weren't a whole lot of like older vets around. Now you have guys like Garrett Temple, Thad Young, Otto Porter. I'm wondering, how has that changed the locker room? How has that changed the culture? And yeah, just having the presence of a bunch of vets compared to, again, when you came on, it was not a lot of guys like that. What is the differences?
I'll say like those guys that you just mentioned, you know, they come in and bring a lot of positivity, a lot of energy, a lot of motivating. I feel like it was like kind of, you know, I don't know, it wasn't like, that's why I just feel like it's just a lot of more positivity, more motivated, more energy, just being able to be fun, you know, having fun, enjoying the game. I feel like that's what we just really got to get back to doing, just be able to enjoy it and enjoy each other's presence.
Hey, Scottie. Masai talked about selfishness within the team last season. When you look at, you know, kind of playing with that kind of vibe around the team last season, how did that impact you?
I would say it's an energy drainer, you know. Sometimes out there it feels like it's every man for themselves, but that's what we just really got to change, you know. I feel like Darko's doing a good job inserting that to our offense, just being able to play more together. And it just helps everybody just be able to have energy out there on the floor, wanting to play for each other, making those sacrifices. It makes you feel more comfortable sacrificing for one another. Once you're moving the ball, playing with energy, it helps our team. Moral, making us happy, knowing that you don't got to worry about anything else. And you could just play your game, and you know that the ball's going to come to you, and you're going to be able to play your game.
With the talk of the ball being in your hands more, do you feel a sense of responsibility in being able to set the tone for how you guys want to play this season?
Of course, you know, me having the ball in my hands, you know, I love passing the ball. You know, I'm a playmaker as well. So, you know, I like getting guys involved into the game. That's what I do. So, you know, that's how we're gonna play, and we got guys on the team that want to play that way as well. So that's what it's about. Everybody just trying to make that sacrifice.
Jakob, how are you? And are you excited about having a fellow German speaker on the team?
I'm good. I'm happy to be back. I enjoyed my off season, but it's good to be back and get rolling again. And yeah, I am excited. Maybe we'll get some sneak plays on the court with a little bit of secret communication.
But you last year with Fred, in the short time you guys were together, you know, kind of rekindled what you'd had earlier in your careers pretty quickly. Do you think you and Dennis can have a similar type of rapport as obviously the big and the point guard got to work together in a nice way?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Dennis is such an experienced point guard. Like he's played well on so many different teams and so many different systems. So I'm pretty confident that we're going to be able to figure it out pretty quickly. And I mean, yeah, I've watched him play. Like we've seen him play this summer for the national team as well. Like he's really got some stuff to him. So yeah, like I said, it's just about figuring out those small details. But I'm pretty confident that we're going to be on track pretty fast.
No, I'm just going to say congratulations on your contract.
Thank you.
We're going to go to Eric, just for the sake of mic flow, and then we'll move.
Hey, Yak, welcome back. Didn't intend for that to rhyme. I'm sorry. Darko spoke about the 1 through 4 being sort of interchangeable. I mean, obviously dependent on the precise player, but that puts a lot of pressure on you to gain chemistry with a lot of guys in two-man actions. How much of that work can be done in training camp, and is it simpler than it sounds?
I mean, I think my experience helps me in situations like that because obviously, like, players are unique, have unique play styles, but there's probably somebody in the past that I can kind of compare it to that I've had like similar experiences with. So I think it's not going to be a problem picking that type of stuff up. It's more about, kind of like I said earlier, about the pick and roll, about figuring out those small details, like figuring out where players like the ball and what situations they like it or might not like it. Yeah, I think it's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to be a matter of practicing it in training camp, but then also practicing it in a real game situation. Like it might take a few games, maybe a couple weeks into the season until we're really starting to get rolling there.
How different, and I'm aware it's media day and there have only been informal stuff so far, but how different does what you're trying to do seem from, offensively I'm speaking, seem from how you ended the year last year?
I think there's a pretty big difference in like the core principles. Obviously, there are some things that we're going to default to that are going to stay the same, but that high post offense, like trying to run the ball, like that motion offense through the 5, is going to take some time getting used to. I think we had elements of that in the past, but it's going to be a bigger focus now. But I mean, I'm curious as well. I'm curious to see what it will look like in the first real games, like maybe a preseason game or even then like the first regular season games.
Hey, Jakob, welcome back. Obviously, last year you got traded to the team and sort of had to adapt to the team on the fly, but now you've had a whole off-season to prepare. What did you work on in this off-season to be the best center you could be for the Toronto Raptors?
I mean, I don't think it changed my off-season work too much. Obviously, there's some elements that changed just from the role I was expecting to maybe have on this team, but like, it's one of those things where like I don't know ahead of time what this team's going to look like. We have some ideas, we have some plans. Like I talked to Coach Darko during Summer League. Like we had some work together in August in LA as well. So you get an idea, but really the identity of the team is only going to form when we actually get to start playing. So yeah, I've worked on mostly the same things I've been working on. Maybe a little bit more, like I said, that high post action, trying to create some things for myself, create an offensive package out of those situations for myself as well, being aggressive out of it, a little bit more post work maybe, different things like that.
You spoke about the identity of this team still coming together. Both Masai and Darko said that they want to change the culture of this team. What direction would you like to see the team change in terms of team culture?
Well, we just got to figure out a way to enjoy playing together through the ups and downs. I think that's something we've struggled with in the past, where we've had moments where we looked like we gelled and everything was free-flowing and we could play with the best teams in the league, beat the best teams in the league. But through our down periods, we really struggled and completely changed the way we play basketball. And I think that's something we got to work on, is trying to find an identity even when other teams might be on a run, when shots aren't really falling for us. Like what's going to be our go-to action to get us back in the game, and not just individual people trying to do it on their own, but like us trying to figure it out together.
So we're going to go to Aaron and then to the very back. Can you just let us know where you are? And then we'll come back.
Fred didn't have a great shooting season last year, but I think he was still perceived as a pretty good pull-up shooter, threat at least. How does it change not having him around, and some of the guys you might be running pick and roll with aren't necessarily seen as high-end three-point shooters, pull-up shooters? How does that change your chemistry in the pick and roll, and how does that change the way you see yourself being used offensively?
I mean, pick and roll always comes down to like who I'm setting the pick for. It's always going to look a little bit different. So if I think it's a guy that's going to be shooting less threes behind the screen, like let's pull up shots, like kind of like you said, it might be a matter of setting that screen a little bit lower, like rolling faster, trying to create downhill 2-on-1 scenarios. But I mean, those are the small details I was talking about earlier that it's going to take a little bit of time to figure out. I'm going to have to talk to those guys that I'm going to be playing pick and roll with. Might be like Dennis, Malachi, Scottie. So yeah, it's about communication and trying to figure out how both parties can like help each other succeed the best way. And I mean, it's the same thing I did with Fred when I got traded here. Like we kind of talked about the situations, how he likes to pick set, what space he likes to get into, and then I told him like the situation that I felt comfortable with, like rolling the ball, like where I felt like I could make the most out of getting the basketball and like make the best basketball play.
Does that seem like a little change, as you said, or is it more of a bigger?
I mean, for sure it's a change, because like Fred was my primary pick and roll partner last season, and now he's gone. So like even if it's a similar style player, it'd still be a change, because even though it might look like a similar player, they might like the screen set a little bit different. They might like the timing a little bit different. They might be a little bit faster out the screen or slower. Like there's so many things to consider, and like so many things that we got to learn about each other. Yeah, there's definitely going to be some changes there.
Thanks very much. So just very back there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jakob. I know it's a bit early, especially with it being media day. You haven't started camp, but this team has a mix of new faces, guys who've been here a while, and then guys like you who've managed to have a full off season now. Where do you feel like this team could be the biggest threat to, like, during the regular season this year?
What do you mean?
Like, in what way do you feel like you could threaten other teams, whether it be in the East or just in general this regular season?
I mean, I still think our biggest strengths are in just turning teams over, like running out in transition, like being physical. Like we have a lot of those guys that are going to be hard to stop in open court. Especially now, like we've added a little bit more shooting with Grady as well. The spacing, hopefully, in the transition situations, like it's kind of those situations I was talking about earlier, when we're flowing, when we're gelling, we're playing fast. I think that's going to be really good for us. And yeah, well, I think we're going to be a fairly paint-heavy team as well. Again, like we got some pretty physical guys out there that can do some damage there. So hopefully we can keep that up and keep putting pressure on the rim against other defenses.
All the way back to the front to Josh.
Hey, Yak. Coming in mid-season last year, you talked about really looking forward to having the summer to get settled, assuming that you were back here this year. Do you feel more settled? And how much do you think having that full summer and now having a full training camp as well will help you this season?
I feel more settled for sure. I'm still trying to work out some small details, but we're getting there. What was the second part?
How much you feel like having the full summer and the full training camp will or can help you this season?
I mean, especially the full training camp, the whole preseason process. I think it's gonna help me personally a lot. Obviously, like I figured out some things on the fly, and it just took a little bit more time. But like that time period of trying to figure it out is now going to be in more of a practice setting, which is going to help. You're not getting thrown into deep end, kind of like it was last season. We have more time to talk about things, figure it out, like kind of, I guess, like, yeah, just work on developing a working team chemistry. And it's not going to be easy. Like other guys it's almost like a little step back because we have a new coach, a new system. So like even guys that have been here for a long time, like it's going to be an adjustment period for them as well. So and then an adjustment period for us as a team. So I don't expect it to work perfectly right from the start, but I think it's a process that is good for us to go through, and then hopefully we'll keep improving throughout the season.
And then go back to the middle.
Aaron asked a question.
Okay. I'll put that. We'll wrap up. Thank you.
Hey, Jakob. When you arrived last season, you said one of the things that you were looking forward to was helping a young center like Christian Koloko grow. I was wondering what your communication this offseason has been like and what your message to him has been now, as he goes through a tough time physically.
Yeah, obviously it's been a little bit of a tough summer for him with like being in and out of injuries, like not really being able to work as much as I think he would have hoped to. My communication with him, like, I mean, I still talk to him in practice. Like, obviously, it's tough. Like, we used to just have like big man workouts together, so it's a little bit easier. Like, you have more teaching moments and stuff like that. But it's like small details. Like the other day after practice, he was having a film session with one of our assistant coaches, and I just like happened to walk by, so I decided to join. And like there was some situations where I felt like I could chime in just from a player's perspective, because I know the things he's going through are the things I went through like 5-6 years ago. So just trying to share my personal experience on top of what our coaches are trying to teach him, and hopefully that will help him with his development.